Hey everyone, Rahul here. We're now 3 weeks away from World Time Attack Challenge 2017, and as you can see, the car's still in quite a few pieces. So I thought I'd give everyone an update on what we've been doing on Project 7 Dera, and hopefully what we will have achieved by October. Probably the key thing that we've been doing is the installation of a complete set of hard race bushes and arms. So you can sort of see the arms partially installed on the car right now. So we've got rear toe arm, lower arm and trailing arm hard race upgrades. To be honest, the original arms weren't actually in that bad condition bushing wise, but these are all full pillow balls, so hopefully we'll see a bit of an improvement. The front one was predominantly so we could get a bit more camber. At the moment we're getting maxed out at about -2 degrees, so this we should probably be able to chase 2.5-3 degrees, which is probably more where we want to be targeting. Had a chance to sort of use this new hydraulic press that my friends bought me for my birthday. We've sort of been sitting here collecting dust until waiting for this job to be done. So it was a bit hard at the start just using these bits of metal and sockets to try to push everything out, but eventually gave up and just went and bought a proper Super Pro bushing kit. And as everything, having the right tools makes everything a lot easier to do and a lot more enjoyable to do as well. You can see over here, this arm's actually been done, so it's been painted a very nice anodized blue to try to match, not quite the same color, but close enough. Painted by Anthony to match each other. So we've got the rear pillar balls in there. The middle one's actually still rubber, and that one's pillar ball from factory as well. Still got to do the fronts as well. The other one is still in there. I suck at getting out these damn ball joints. I mean, sort of whacking this with a hammer for a while and actually managed to destroy one of these tools, but I've never had good luck with tie rod ends and that kind of stuff. The other key thing we're doing to try to chase lap times is fix our braking issues. So not sure if you guys saw my write-up of the last track day, but we're having some issues with brakes. Sort of two different things come into play. One is pad fade. So after a few hot laps, completely lose some of that braking force. And the other part is, given that we're running the Type RS OEM 314mm rotors, expect we should be able to lock up those brakes quite easily. But even on the cold lap, we're just not getting that kind of stopping power that we'd expect. So the first thing is Garage 460 have supplied these Project Mu Club Racer pads. The previous compound we were running on was HC 800s, so this should be have a bit more coefficient of friction at the sort of temperature ranges we are targeting. The other thing we've done is cut off these backing plates. So on the rear they're not really doing much but keeping the heat in. On the front we're going to replace them with a different backing plate with a sort of pipe off the end that we can run this brake hose to. So it's a 3-inch brake hose. Probably really want to be going after something a bit smaller, but unfortunately this is all that was available on short notice. So we'll probably run it from down here into there, assuming we can get it to fit, and come off this sort of OEM brake duct here. The other sort of really key thing that we're hoping will reduce lap times is new springs for the MCA suspension. So couple of months ago we bought some MCA Reds. They were fitted with 17 kilograms per millimeter on the front, 11 on the rear. What we found was this setup was very, very understeery, and from turn in through mid corner and especially on exit, the car would just push and wouldn't turn, meaning that we had to take the corner slower and come on the throttle later. So what we've actually bought here is some 15 kilogram springs, so we're softening up the front. Hopefully this will mean a more balanced setup, and that will lead to more time on the throttle and faster entry speeds. So we'll see how that goes at the next testing day. We've also got this oil cooler duct, which in interest of symmetry we want to do on the other side. We actually built this the night before Big Time Attack, and it took a lot longer than expected. It took us to about midnight, and then we just said no, we won't bother with the other side. And the OCD has been jumping up and down saying make it symmetrical because this side doesn't have it. So we'll do that. Shouldn't be too hard. The other thing is the way the oil cooler usually vents out from factory is it actually comes out through here. It goes over the top of the wheel well through a duct and out through the side vents on the car, which you can kind of see here. So in through there and out through there. They're not really that efficient or effective, and what we're going to do is repurpose this side vent to actually vent out the wheel well, which should hopefully help relieve some of the pressure in there, and hence the lift that's caused because you've obviously got low pressure over the top. The other thing we're doing to help in that is actually make those OEM vents a bit bigger. So this is actually some fiberglass stuff that Anthony has been playing with. This is actually a fiberglass piece, which unfortunately we don't have the plastic one because it got sacrificed to make this. So this is a complete copy of the OEM at the moment, but what we'll actually do is cut it out a bit bigger and try to make that hole as big as possible to increase the effectiveness of that venting solution. What else have we got here? This is what the diff mounts. So we also bought hard race items for that. As you can see, these are actually the OEM ones, completely split. And this probably explains the knocking noise we've been getting when coming on the throttle. So pretty key thing there, because that meant that I instinctively just didn't used to come on the throttle particularly very hard to avoid that knocking noise. We've also installed a Tomei Type L fuel pressure regulator. This was to try to tackle some of the issues we were having with, loss of fuel pressure that was caused presumably on wherever it is here, this SAD copy replica. I'm not actually sure whether it's genuine or not. Fuel pressure regulator. So it was always about 20 kPa below target. Unfortunately, changing that doesn't seem to have helped. So I'm wondering whether the solution is something simpler and stupider than that, like this hose having a small leak or something like that. So we'll try changing that. Or perhaps the sensor, some of the wiring off that sensor, perhaps leading to a higher resistance as the voltage increases. But yeah, we'll see what we can do to tackle that. The other issue we're going to do to try to fix that braking issue is replacing this. So it actually has a check valve in it to the brake booster. Probably isn't the issue, but we're taking the scatter approach here, so that's what this is here. We're also tackling, if you recall from one of my earlier posts, the fuel injector grommets, or whatever you want to call them, were in really bad condition. Unfortunately, when I pulled them out last, I didn't have any spares, so I had to put them back in, but they're basically falling apart. So if I have time, I'll get these in there, and new diffusers as well, just as a maintenance item. So this just arrived yesterday. This is more than I ever thought I'd ever pay for an exhaust. This is the Muse R1 Titan. It is a stupidly expensive exhaust that somehow I ended up falling in love with when I heard it in a few videos. So we're going to get this thing installed soon. This thing is extremely light. It weighs 3.8 kilos, which, I mean, it's not a particularly large piece of muffler, but I can pick that up with the finger. It is made out of titanium. It's 80 millimeters. So this will be replacing the Aria Memia dolphin tail that will go down there, which is also made out of titanium, but it's a very quiet exhaust, that one. It's very loud during cruise inside the cabin, but out on the track you can barely hear it. Which is obviously what you want out of a track car. The brakes have also been rebuilt and painted red, because red goes faster, by Anthony. We found while bleeding these brakes at the last track day, there was bits and pieces of black stuff inside. Probably bits of rubber from the seals wearing, so yeah, hopefully the rebuilds resolve that issue. We've done the rears as well in there. Hello, JC. she's been supporting the team. Of course, the new 808Rs swapped off on the wheels. They're actually they sit a lot wider on the wheels, despite being the same 265 size as the old 595 RS RRs. They sit a lot more square on the wheel, so hopefully that actually leads to better contact patch, and then, well, they're meant to be a better tyre in general, so looking forward to see what that turns into in terms of lap times. We have only one testing day between now and World Time Attack, and that's next Saturday, assuming we can get this car back together by then. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Oh, and the other thing, this is probably the most stressful thing, we only found out we were in World Time Attack probably 2 weeks ago, probably one of the last ones to be offered a spot. So one of the key issues was deciding how to get there. So I actually went and bought that thing over there, the Toyota Prado V6, to be the tow car for this mission. It's probably the fastest I've ever bought a car, fastest time I've ever bought a car in. So it's just been roadworthy, registration transferred, and it seems to be in reasonably good condition. So I'm pretty happy about that one. But we'll test it when we go up to Winton next week, see how it goes with towing. But yeah, that's where we're at with Project 7 Dara. Expect to see us in October at Sydney Motorsport Park.